What's up, everybody? We're back again. Russo's Playbook on the Court, episode 5. We're here with the NBA trade deadline special. A lot of trades went down today. It was a fun one. Um, yeah, what did you think about it, Connor?
I mean, it like the half hour leading up till 3 p.m. was pretty dull because like a lot of the big moves happened earlier in the day around like 12, 1 o'clock, and then the big bombs came at like 3:10, 3:15 after the deadline, and which we'll get to in a little bit. But all right, on that note, should we just start off with probably the biggest bomb of the day? I
Go
would
for it.
say I would say the Oladipo trade.
Yeah,
Oladipo got sent to Miami for.
he's been getting sent all around.
Yeah, and yo,
Okay.
I was looking at it. So initially, the Woj tweet says Victor Oladipo traded to the Miami Heat. No other details listed. So I'm literally sitting there like we were sitting live on Give Me the Money podcast, like while recording live while this was all happening, and we're sitting there trying to hop off. I'm waiting like, yo, do they have like Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson? Is it
Yeah,
who's
right,
in it?
right.
And read off the trade for who's in it.
So it wasn't Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson going over there. It was Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and a 2022 first round pick, but they're swapping picks. So
Yeah, it's nothing. And the Rockets aren't even going to want to swap picks because the Heat are going to be nice.
yeah,
Not
exactly.
even worth it.
Right.
And like it's just crazy because they flip. They Rockets really fucked up. They sent Jared Allen to the Cavs for nothing. They sent Karis LeVert to Indiana for Oladipo, who they got Kelly Olynyk and a first round pick.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I mean, like granted the street value of Oladipo is not high right now, but they got what for James Harden at this point? The only thing valuable is the picks in the future.
Yeah. Wish they could use this trade capital as well, but I mean, you're 100% right. Another team that unloaded somebody, I thought this was a big bomb. I mean, it was kind of rumors leading up to it anyway, but the Magic really got rid of three of their best players. So we'll start with Evan Fournier to the Celtics for 2 second round picks and Jeff Teague. Um, that was just,
I
you know,
mean, like
I
here's
think it's a
here's
good
my
trade
two.
for the Celtics.
Yeah, good trade for the Celtics. They got a dude who was averaging just under 20 points a game, who will probably fit into like a six-man type of role.
Exactly.
And he's had some woes in the playoffs because in a set like well for the Magic it's normally a four-game series in the first round,
Yeah.
but like it's him and Vucevic. The two of them struggle because the defense is keying on the two of them in
Right.
the film room for several games in a row. But Fournier, really in Boston, he's going to be a fifth option after Tatum, Brown, Kemba, and Smart. He's going to put up numbers and have some really easy shots. But my beef with the trade, I mean, good for the Celtics, but I think the Magic could have gotten more. They had to throw Jeff Teague in there to match his salary, but I would have tried to get like Aaron Naismith, the sniper out of Vanderbilt, or Romeo Langford, who's now in his second year out of Indiana. Two young guys, and like if you're the Magic are now going into a full-on rebuild, you want
Right.
to get as much young talent as possible and as
Right.
quick as possible to expedite that process. And
Yeah.
yeah, you got
You
second
mentioned
round picks, but those are future picks in years we don't know. So maybe assume it's one this year, one next year. We don't know. And if I were them, I would have gone after either of those two guys who they were both first rounders. So it would have been Jeff Teague and maybe one of those two guys I mentioned, either Langford or Naismith. But that's just me, and Danny Ainge knows better than to do that.
Yeah, you mentioned Nikola Vucevic. He also got traded. He went to the Bulls with Al-Farouq Aminu, and the Magic got Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter, a 2021 first round top four protected, and a 2023 first round pick. So that was a much better trade for them. But Vucevic also much better value that the Bulls got. I think it's a good trade for both. I guess all around, Magic going into a rebuild, they got a couple good pieces. Wendell Carter's a solid young piece. and they got 2 first-round draft picks. So um, we'll
Yeah,
see.
no,
We'll see
I agree.
if they end up keeping that pick.
Both sides came out good. I mean, reason the Magic got a little bit more for Vucevic than for Fournier. Obviously, Vucevic now two-time All-Star, but also Fournier's on an expiring deal, so that
True.
garners less in trade capital. But also, you could kind of equate like Wendell Carter to sort of a first-round pick because
Mhm.
he was, I think, like sixth or seventh overall. But I think Chicago is going to be really entertaining to watch at the end of this season because they're pretty much, I mean, the guys that they're going to be ending a game with, because Kobe White comes off the bench, going to be Kobe White, Levine, probably Patrick Williams, the guy they took fourth overall in the 2020 draft, Markkanen, and Vucevic. Not a lot of defense going to be played, but good for the
But
over. I'll tell
yeah,
you that.
they can probably score. And then the Magic also got rid of Aaron Gordon, sent him to Denver for Gary Harris and a 2025 first round pick, top 5 protected, as well as RJ Hampton. So yeah,
Bro,
I
this
think the
is
Denver Nuggets made a couple really good moves today.
Yeah, I think the Aaron Gordon trade was the biggest needle mover as far as playoff contending
Yeah,
team that have championship aspirations by a long shot.
yeah,
With actually meaningful players involved. Like, yeah, the Nuggets just lost in Gary Harris, their best wing defender, but also hasn't shot the three ball well and pretty much been injured half of each of the last 3 seasons.
yeah. And Aaron Gordon just brings in that extra dominant force in the paint to help out with Jokic.
Not
Um,
just in the paint, but
yeah,
he's stands
and he
at
stretches the
6'8".
floor too. Yeah,
Yeah, he could board. He plays above the rim, developing his away like outside the paint game, both jumper, ball handling, and defensively. He's a lot more mobile and provides the defense that Millsap once did, and Michael Porter
yeah,
Jr. still has not brought.
yeah,
The only negative I find is that mentioned Gary Harris sent the other way to the Magic. Now they're very short on wing defense. And
yeah.
as we know, defense wins championships. Look
Definitely.
at all the last championship teams. Last year with the Lakers, top 5 in every defensive statistic. Raptors before that,
Now,
Warriors, the Cavs, and so on and so
yeah,
forth.
let's talk about the what the Nuggets' strategy might be right now because they also picked up JaVale McGee for 2 second-round picks and Isaiah Hartenson. So I think their play might be they're saying, listen, we can compete offensively with our backcourt with Michael Porter Jr. Even Aaron Gordon scoring, Jokic scoring, right? They went out and they got 2 guys that could help them defensively on the big men, 3, 4, 5 type of thing. Because Aaron Gordon can sometimes guard 3 if you really need him to. But you know, I think that's a big time move when they're planning on seeing the Lakers in the playoffs at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good move. I'm just pulling up the Nuggets depth chart right now. So, just looking more so at like the guard spots. So right now they have their starting lineups projected to be Jamal Murray, Will Barton at the 2, Aaron Gordon at the 3, Porter Jr. at the 4, and Jokic at the 5. Like now they have the front court depth to hang
Right,
with the
right,
Lakers, as you said.
right.
Because then now they have Jokic, Porter Jr., Gordon to play the 4 in spots, Millsap, JaVale McGee, and Jermichael Green, who can play for the 4 or the 5. Yeah, but like I just mean more so like look at the defenders on the wing that they have. Jamal Murray, not a defensive player. Will Barton, just a spark plug offensively.
Yeah,
Facundo Campazzo, the backup point guard. He's more of a passer, a little flashy passer,
Ricky
pesky
Rubio type.
defender, but he's
Yeah,
small.
he's
I
pesky.
guess,
Yeah, he's a pesky defender, man. He'll get you some steals and stuff though.
yeah, but I mean,
Play
like,
passing lanes. He's like a Steph Curry defense type of guy.
yeah, but pretty much like you're looking to fill like the spot at the 2 because Jamal Murray is going to be playing in the playoffs. He's going to be playing 35 minutes a game.
Yeah,
I guess maybe PJ Dozier or Monte Morris, who Monte Morris is listed as out right now.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, you're definitely not wrong. I think that the play there was they're just playing for the front court, competing with the
yeah, no, definitely, which is a strong suit. You get a lot of big guys that could score the rock and play good defense. So I guess if a guard gets past like Jamal Murray or Will Barton, then hopefully someone slides in. I don't know. I was just pointing that out that because that's definitely a
no, definitely, I
loss
agree,
on their part.
I agree. But they bring in Aaron Gordon and JaVale McGee. I think those are
Last
two
point.
big pieces that they could have needed.
Like look at the Jazz series when they were down when the Nuggets were down 3-1. They ended up getting Gary Harris back, I think game 5 or game 6. If he doesn't come back, I don't think they win that series.
Yeah, but they're down 3-1, and they got a better front court now, so they're competing with Rudy Gobert down there a little better as well.
True. Maybe they won't be down 3-1 this time.
Exactly, exactly. So we mentioned Oladipo to the Heat. The Heat also got your guy. You go ahead and say the name.
Oh, Nemanja Bjelica. I mean, like
Yeah, I mean, he could practice
not a
that a
big
couple
name,
times.
not a big name player, but I think definitely solid like role player pickup for a team that went to the finals and wants to get back there and really win it
Yeah,
and like compete without all the injuries that they had in the bubble. But I mean, he's a 6'10", pretty capable shooter, shoots like a decent chunk above league average, can handle the ball a little bit, and kind of fills the void. Like Kelly Olynyk was their starting four before they traded him for Depot.
yeah,
So he kind of fills that void, adds more spacing to the court because now you're going to need a lot more spacing with a backcourt or ball handlers being Oladipo and Jimmy Butler.
yeah,
Neither of them shoot the three ball well, although defensively that team will be sick.
yeah. No,
Those
definitely.
two and Bam, I don't care who the other two guys on the court with them three.
Yeah,
Champs.
yeah. No, definitely. So they gave up Mo Harkless and Chris Silva for him. And then they also picked up Trevor Ariza to go back to your point about a team trying to get back to the championship or to the finals and hopefully win this time. Uh, Getting Trevor Ariza, a veteran in this league who's done it before, he's been to the finals, all of that good stuff. I think that's also a solid pickup,
I
even if
think
it's
the
not
biggest
producing well on the floor. But
bro, like I agree with you 100%. The biggest win for the Heat, they didn't trade a single player that gets significant minutes for them other than Kelly Olynyk.
right, and for Kelly Olynyk, they got Oladipo, so it's a solid,
Yeah,
value
oh, they got
trade.
Oladipo, they got Bjelica.
And in this case,
Bjelica, bro, in my opinion, Bjelica is better than Kelly Olynyk because I swear to God, every time I watch a Heat game, I feel I watch Kelly Olynyk jack fadeaway threes like on the move like JJ Redick
yeah,
does, and he'll go like 1 for 6 on the game if he makes one. I swear to God, like literally every time I see this man take a shot, he's chucking up a brick.
yeah, and in this case, I mean, in this for the Ariza trade specifically, they only gave up a 2027 second and Myers Leonard, who they needed to get out of there anyway for
Who
reasons
was
that
bro? They benched him after
so,
the racial slur he said
yeah,
on Twitch,
exactly,
and like he wasn't get before that he wasn't getting much time. So
exactly. So it really doesn't matter, like we were
yeah,
saying. Um,
Pat Riley, that man is a wizard.
yeah, definitely. Another team that made a couple moves was the Raptors. They traded Norman Powell to the Blazers for Gary Trent and or Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood. I was surprised, like we talked about earlier, I was surprised that the Blazers gave up Gary Trent Jr. But Norman Powell's a good piece, and they kind of needed Norman Powell more than they needed Gary Trent Jr. with Dame and CJ. You know what I mean? So kind of
Hundred
makes
percent.
sense.
Yeah, because when CJ McCollum was out, Gary Trent stepped up and he was putting as a starting two and upped his points per game to like 18 a game, not the 29 that CJ was putting up, but and then like the production and the efficiency went way down when he went back to the bench when CJ came back. So I think that was a good move. And Norman Powell comes in. He'll probably slide in to be the starting three.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he even though he's 6'6", but he brings a lot more defensive tenacity
Yeah,
and plays a bit more above the rim. Can still get hot. He averages like around like 39% from three for
he
his
definitely get
career.
hot, bro. He can drop 30 and
Yeah, I've
randomly
seen him
wherever.
do it. And like if you were to like skew his numbers in Toronto so far this season to only starting minutes, he'd be averaging 23.5 points per game on like 52% shooting from the field overall and 46 from three,
Mhm.
and would be the only player in the league putting up those numbers.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Um,
That's a big get, and the Raptors, I think it good get getting Gary Trent because they're sort of moving to like not like a rebuild, but they're moving a lot younger. Totally
they need
shocked
to
they
they,
didn't.
they need to keep switching things up because they're running out of time. I mean, like you said, they're not building to a rebuild, but like it's going to be a rebuild not by their choice soon if they don't like figure out something that's going to get them further than where they've been getting. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, no, 100%. But look at the guys they got. Lowry's been injured most of the year, but now they're rocking with uh you got Van Vliet, Gary Trent at the two, Anunoby at the three, Siakam at the four, and Chris Boucher at the five.
Yeah,
Pretty much other than Gary Trent, who they just traded for, all homegrown dudes.
yeah. No, I agree.
So it's a
I got some fun facts about Gary Trent. So first of all, every player in the NBA that's named Gary was traded today. So that's kind of wild. It's only three of them, but the fact that they all got traded is kind of interesting. And then Gary Trent and his father. So in 1988, Gary Trent was traded from the Blazers to the Raptors, 41 games into his third season. Today, Gary Trent Jr. was traded from the Blazers to the Raptors, 41 games into his third season.
And my question to you: did the
Kind of
Raptors
crazy.
win? What happened? Did the Raptors make the playoffs when Gary Trent Sr. got traded there?
See, I'm not sure.
Because if so, that would be crazy. Because the Raptors are currently on a 9-game losing streak.
Yeah, right. If he just turns it around, let's see. They went 23 and 27, finished sixth in the NBA. I mean, yeah, no, sixth in the division, in their division. So I don't think they made the playoffs. They finished sixth in the, let's see, standings. 1988.
Probably at like 10th in the East.
This shit gonna bring me to it right now. I didn't type in 1988.
So we got the Raptors are sitting at 11th
Yeah,
in the
yeah, I
East.
just got to it too.
Um, they're what? They're 3 games back of the Celtics, who are sitting at the 8th spot right now. They're not dead in the water, and they're also on a 9-game losing streak.
Yeah, we shall see. They also traded TD, Terrence Davis, to the Kings for a 2021 second round pick via the Grizzlies. It's interesting. I mean, I'm wearing my Ole Miss Hoops shirt. Got it at one of the games. I don't know. I think they gave this out. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, he's a Ole Miss alum. TD to the Kings. Like you mentioned earlier, Connor, he went undrafted and then turned up in the summer league, and then got picked up by the Raptors. But now he's apparently worth the second round pick. So congrats to him in a way. You know what I mean? It shows that he proved his worth and his value. Um, I know the Raptors liked him, so I didn't see that coming. It seems like he blended well with what they were trying to do, but I guess with bringing Gary Trent in now, they didn't really need TD anymore. I'm not really sure. You know what I mean? But they got a second round
It'll
pick
be
back
good for
for him. So,
him.
huh?
It'll be good for him going to Sacramento because
Yeah,
Sacramento is kind of like going in like no direction in particular.
yeah. He can kind of
And
do his thing.
yeah,
Be the
and
director.
like there's a like they traded for him for a reason.
Right.
Like so that he's either going to get time or maybe go to their G League affiliate. But like they wanted him for a reason. They like what he does on the court, and they showed like in the playoff run. What was it? 2 years ago, he played some meaningful minutes down like the stretches of some games. So pretty good dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd want him on my team.
Yeah. No, definitely. He's a great player. Um, we got two more. Let's run through these real quick. So we got George Hill going to Philly. This is a 3-team deal. So Philly got George Hill, um, The Knicks got Terrence Ferguson from the Thunder and a 2021 second round pick from Philly. And OKC got Tony Bradley, Austin Rivers, and 2 second round picks, one in 2025, one in 2026. So I think the biggest story there is obviously George Hill to Philly.
Yeah.
I know you felt good about that, right, for them?
Yeah, no, it's a good move. I don't like it's not a huge move, but like
Right.
it adds a guy who's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league the last few years. Adding him to the team, a guy, big wingspan, could play a little defense, and is not gonna like turn over the ball a lot if you have him
Yeah.
playing down the stretch of games.
And he's a
Also,
veteran for the playoffs. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's
he's
something you
been
kind of
there,
need.
been to the chip with the Cavs.
Yeah.
He's a reliable vet. I think the most value comes in his 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
Because the 3-point shooting, like you need that having Simmons and Embiid on the court.
Right. Right.
That's
Um,
the biggest value. And I honestly like uh the Ferguson pickup by the Knicks, because the Knicks, again, they didn't, kind of like to point earlier, they didn't give up anybody that they play.
mhm.
Anyway, they got a young guy who's around like 24 years old, hasn't gotten too much time, good 3-and-D wing, plays above the
Yeah.
rim.
Right. Right.
And like the next, let's just say it's another guy. Like they gave up Austin Rivers, who's suited up for maybe 5 games this year. Good move. Good move
Yeah.
if you ask me. And they got a second round pick.
Yep.
At this point, the Knicks are like quasi rebuild. Like they weren't supposed to be this good, but they're this good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
might as well just stock up on draft picks, get some players, and maybe make a move in the offseason.
Yeah. And speaking of stocking up on draft picks, OKC racked up two more draft picks in this trade. They now have 34 draft picks in the next 7 years, 17 first round picks and 17 second round picks in the next 7 NBA drafts. As of right now, it depends on some outcomes of the seasons because of the protections and swaps and stuff like that. So we'll see if that holds up. But yeah, that's talk about loading up on draft picks. That's going to be great for trade capital. I'm an OKC fan, and I trust in OKC's GM. He has a
Yeah,
great
Sam
track record.
Presti's one of the best in the league.
Yeah, great
I
track
mean,
record with trades, drafts, all that. So whatever they do with the draft picks, I trust them.
real quick, I mean, I said in the group chat earlier today, but like I see them drafting because they're going to have a decently high draft pick this year, depending on also what other picks they got. But they'll be able to like do something like what who is it? Atlanta did. They moved up to number 4 to get not Herder, other dude, the guy from Virginia. They start him at the 4, but in the Zion draft, and do
Yeah,
something like that. Package some of the first round picks, some
RJ
of them
Hunter.
later. Yeah, DeAndre
Yeah,
Hunter. Yeah, but and like move up, get into like the earlier lottery to get like a better talent than say draft like a bunch of guys like post lottery like 16, 17, and then
yeah,
like a
that
ton.
aren't gonna make. They're not gonna make the biggest difference necessarily, like projected wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then
I
move
agree.
move up that way, and then like I don't know, in like 2 years, once him, Dort, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander develop, make a big trade.
I definitely
Either
agree
be
with that.
trading those guys or keeping like some combination. But they'll be good in the future. It'll take a while, but they're in the right direction.
They are headed in the right direction.
They're taking the
Um,
process to a whole new level.
yeah, they are. They are. Another team that's I think headed in the right direction for what they needed to improve on for last year at least is the Clippers. They traded for Rajon Rondo. They gave up Blue Will, big time scorer off the bench, so that's a tough hit. Um, they also gave up a 2023 second round pick and a 2027 second round pick as well as cash for Rajon Rondo. So it's a big price to pay for Rondo, but after the playoffs last year, the Clippers showed that they desperately needed somebody that could just be the ball handler, initiate the offense, run the plays, run the sets, and just make it happen come playoff time in the clutch, stuff like that. Because with Kawhi and PG holding that responsibility, it did not look great at all.
I have a one-word response for why they wanted to get rid of Lou Will: defense.
Yeah, that too.
Because down the stretch in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, he's a liability, and
Yeah,
teams they just like send their pick and roll attack to just target Lou Will.
Hmm.
because he's gonna get buckets on the offensive end, but he can't guard a traffic cone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. And like you're in a playoff series, Rondo could play defense, showed playoff Rondo what he could do, and now he's been shooting around like 38, 39% from three over the last couple of years.
Yeah. So
So statistically that's better than Lou Will.
yeah, interesting. But
Now,
it's on way less volume. But
yeah, less
yeah,
volume, less difficult shots, but
I get
now
that though.
Lou Will
Yeah.
gonna be in his element. He'll have his lemon pepper wings out at the strip club. So I think Lou Will is the real winner of
True,
an
he's in
NBA
Atlanta
trade
now.
deadline.
True. Forgot he's in that. Yeah. He's set in Atlanta. He is the
Lemon
true
pepper
winner.
Lou back in the element.
Yes, he is. But yeah, that'll wrap it up. Great trade deadline. Um, that's all we got for you today. We'll be back with some March Madness news after the Sweet 16. Go back and check out our March Madness vlog. It'll be at the top in the beginning of the video. So you know, hopefully you clicked on that or just go to it after this on our page, subscribe and everything, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Russo's Playbook. If you want a way more interactive and in-depth version of what we just did with the trade deadline, go check out Connor's podcast GTM on Twitter, because they were live recording, like he said, and pretty much just following all the trades as they happened for the last hour.
Yeah, check out all the UFC content coming out before the big fight,
Oh, definitely.
the big
That's
card on Saturday.
yeah,
Got blogs coming out. You guys did a UFC show a bit earlier today.
yep. And we got the
Betting
UFC
guide and
betting
all
guide.
that.
Yep. So yeah, we're doing a lot. We got some more NFL off-season stuff coming on Sunday as well. So yeah, a lot of stuff in store. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Appreciate you. And this has been another episode of On the Court.
Yes, sir.
I gotta still press this, so I couldn't hold the follow through.